Guys, good evening. Suns and Bucks had today off. They get back on the practice court tomorrow ahead of game 4. We'll have plenty of time to get to that. But tonight I want to show you something we shot today that was pretty cool. You know, Chris Paul's dad recently reached out to me and had an idea to get all the dads together because they really hadn't spent any time together, hadn't met half of them this year due to COVID protocols. So today we rounded up 7 NBA dads, brought them together to talk about life and basketball.
I done watched all your sons. I done watched Devin. I mean, it's amazing. But I be wanting to meet the dads, man, because this is my first time meeting you.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm just thankful to be alive here, man. For me to be in the NBA, I wouldn't have never thought that would have happened to my son, you know, and for us as parents.
The mothers, I mean, they everywhere. They'll go around the country. They do different things. And, you know, the dads, you know, we be so much into the game. So much what's going on. It's so hard to fall into something.
I see all these black fathers at the game, and I get excited because nobody knows what we got going on here. And so I'm happy to be able to be in the presence of all you brothers, man.
You know, one thing I can learn about our team this year, after every loss, we have bounced back.
That's right.
If they'd have lost last night, we would have been celebrating here on the stage on Wednesday night. We would have been celebrating. It'll be the Sun stage, right here, the Suns here. They kicked our butt last night. You know, which was good for the boys. I think I talked a lot of junk in there last night. My boy's gone.
We playing two-time MVP. And, man, he just played like an old warrior, man. I'm confident in our kids, man, and they in for a world of mess come Wednesday.
Oh, yeah. Because I have people calling me and saying, hey, we're going to do this in 5. I said, I don't want to hear that. I want to hear whatever that last game is when it's 0-0-0 on the clock. As long as the Suns are in the lead, that's when I want to hear it. I think the guys are going to bounce back. Monday's going to make some adjustments. We'll be okay.
I trust in Monty. I trust in the players. With the veterans like Chris and Book, like I feel like, you know, the guys will be ready.
The Bucks did what they supposed to do. We're going to do what we supposed to do.
That's right.
Win it all, win the next game, go home and win it all.
You know, when you talk about camaraderie, if you pay attention to when there's a timeout, the coaches are over there, you know, making their strategy. But
Players coaching each other.
That's right.
Hey, they have it going on.
I mean, they're down there like,
And more and more.
you know, they're down there.
And I never see them going back at each other and
No.
saying, I don't accept what you're trying to tell me. They're all just taking it in stride like brothers.
That's
And
a
it's
team
like,
effort. You ever down Louisiana, Baton Rouge, Louisiana, or New Orleans anywhere, you know what you can get from me. Some nice, hot, spicy food.
That's what I'm talking about.
I can hook you up with some crawfish and some gumbo and all that. But look, now if you get sick, it ain't my fault.
Mr. Gallo, I'll say this. I don't know if I can handle that spice, but I will recommend you to cater the parade. Thanks to all the dads for making some time for us today. In Milwaukee with the Suns, Cameron Cox, 12 Sports. When you think about Snowflake, they got alumni and people all over the valley, right? But turns out you don't have to be from there or live there to be a part of the family.
The smallest things can change the world if you just pay attention.
The smallest things can change the world, like an $11 hat.
I'm still in shock if somebody would fly somebody from Alabama out here to watch a high school ball game.
We call him the hat guy in Snowflake.
The hat man is Jeffrey Alcorn. He's 1,600 miles away from home,
I feel like I'm part of Snowflake now.
watching a team he didn't know existed 2 weeks ago.
I'll always remember this for the rest of my life, you know, and I'll be telling grandkids about it, and they're going to think I'm crazy.
Jeff bought this snowflake hat in late November.
How many times have you had to explain this story?
If you try to explain to it, they look at you like, I don't know what you've been drinking.
He posted about his recent purchase on the Lobo Booster Club Facebook page. Found this cap on eBay, and after checking out the football team, y'all now have a fan in Alabama.
I'll put a picture on it and say, you know, I bought a hat and going to be rooting for y'all, and then it took off like wildfire.
And at first I was like, who in the heck would get rid of a Snowflake Lobos hat? Because I would never get rid of anything Snowflake Lobo, but
Glad somebody did.
it went on. People from that grew up being a Snowflake Lobo just started posting over and over again about how great being a Lobo is and welcome to Lobo Nation. And then they would say what year they graduated, and it was really cool.
Local business Positive Solar, so inspired by the responses, they decided to fly Snowflake's newest fan out for the state title game.
If we made state that we wanted to meet him and bring him out for the community to see.
Me, of all people, because I could buy a ticket for anything and I lose. Like, here's the money, I don't need the ticket because I'm not going to win. But I won this time.
A trucker most of his life, Jeff's been on plenty of trips. None like this.
Well, you know, vacations and all, I've always thought they was fun, but this is probably the best one I've been on.
From breakfast with the team to a little pep talk, Jeffrey and his wife even bringing some shirts from their small town team, Addison High School.
It was meant to be, and it's just like they're our family. I would consider them Lobo family already.
It's the right colors. It's royal blue. I just told the team we're going to hang that up in the locker room. That becomes part of our Lobo legacy. So if anybody sees this from Addison, Alabama, you got fans in Snowflake, Arizona.
I've battled depression for years, and I don't know what brings it on, and I can't tell you when it's going to come on. But this has definitely changed it. You know, there's good in everybody. You just got to look for it a little harder sometimes.
The smallest things can change the world.
This town has said I've done a lot for them. They don't realize they've done more for me.
An $11 hat changed one man's life forever.
This has changed everything, my way of thinking, so maybe I'll be a better person from here on out.
Good people everywhere, not just out here in Alabama, you know, not Snowflake, but wherever you go, there's good people everywhere.
Guys, it's just so cool to see how a simple hat on eBay can bring people together from halfway across the country. I spent a lot of time with Jeff and his wife this week, and it's been so cool to see the community of Snowflake just wrap their arms around him. They had a blast out here at the game despite the loss. All right, now to the best story of day one of the NFL Combine. It involves Cardinals' new head coach, Jonathan Gannon, and a 15-year-old local sports podcaster.
I'm just asking the questions that everybody wants to know.
Everybody belongs in football.
I'm so proud of him, and he's doing so much. He's proving to the world that everybody belongs in football.
15-year-old Giovanni Hamilton spends all his time talking football. On his own show, the Giovanni Show podcast has nearly 60,000 followers on Twitter.
Live out my dream about having a place to talk about football.
Everybody listens because they know Gio will ask the question, like after the Super Bowl to Eagles quarterback Jalen Hurts.
How you doing, man? I'm doing good. How are you? Yeah. What is one lesson that you learned from this game that you'll take on to the next?
The longtime Eagles superfan first went viral back in 2019. His tearful interaction with then Eagles quarterback Carson Wentz. The duo shared battles with injuries. Gio's battle, far worse. 24 surgeries. He suffers from Schwartz-Jampel syndrome, a combination of muscular dystrophy and dwarfism.
I'm fighting through pain to be here.
Football keeps him going. So do the athletes, like his friendship with Cardinals tight end Zach Ertz, who invited Gio and his family out to the Super Bowl.
I broke my knee last Friday, but my other knee got injured. I don't have enough cartilage in my left knee, so I'm going to have surgery on both knees.
Two bad knees didn't stop him from going back to work. So there he was, front and center at the Combine, interviewing all the big names.
I'll get back to you in 1 minute. Go ahead.
Hi, Jonathan.
How you doing, man?
Like new Cardinals head coach Jonathan Gannon.
Love the bow tie.
Thank you. So my question for you is, how do you plan to replicate such a great season with a different team?
Yeah, that's a really good question. You know, it's process driven. I think that I got a pretty good blueprint, a good handle on how to do that, having been in Philly, and look forward to getting that process going. Excellent question.
To be able to talk to him about him going to Arizona and trying to see him replicate something as great as this past Eagles season, amazing.
Everybody belongs in football.
Thank you.
Not so taking. You too. Take it easy.
Man, Gio is wise beyond his years. Make sure you give him a follow and listen on Twitter at Gio the Podcaster. By the way, if you missed any news and notes from day one of the NFL Combine, including our exclusive one-on-one interviews with new GM Monty Ossenford and head coach Jonathan Gannon, just head over to 12news.com. Cameron Cox, 12 Sports. Welcome back to 12 News at 10. I'm Cameron Cox. It's my favorite story so far in spring training. Torey Lovullo renewing an old friendship with one of his old Japanese teammates. They haven't talked face-to-face in 23 years till his old friend walked into his office a week ago. D-backs manager Torey Lovullo has a lifetime of baseball friends.
Thousands of people.
Few more impactful than Atsuya Furuta.
Hi, nice to meet you. Yeah, hello, D-backs fans.
Back in 2000, Lovullo's final year as a player was an injury-filled season for Japan's Yakult Swallows.
And I remember the day, left field line of the Hiroshima baseball field in May of 2000.
A forgettable year on the field, highlighted by a friendship with one of the biggest superstars in Japanese baseball.
Explained to him that my days were winding down, I was old and broken, and I was probably going to come back to America in the coming years and become a manager. And if I ever did, would he be willing to join the staff in some capacity?
23 years later, Lovullo got his answer, inviting Furuta out to spring training for 2 weeks to help coach the catchers.
I played together with him in 2000, and he was a walking computer. And what I tell him is that I stalked him. He didn't know how much I was watching him and how impressed I was with him. And I want to just get what's in his head and give it to our group.
Respect runs both ways. Furuta isn't surprised his friend grew up to be a big league manager.
We are surprised. Oh, Lovullo got a dream. He was so hard worker and so serious for Japanese baseball. I like his style. My friend is so happy to be here to support him.
But now it's his turn to ask the question.
If you got a championship, and please send to the Champions Ring to Japan. It's new promise.
I promise.
Yeah, okay.
Just don't wait another 23 years to keep that promise.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.